Alright, the last time we saw this 5-frame nuke, I had put in a swarm, and as you can tell by the batch on the front, it's about 50 degrees out today and they're already crowding the front. So I believe this hive is, as they say, going gangbusters, so I'm going to move it from this nuke over to a 10-frame. Normally I'd rather use 9, but you use what you got. So we'll start by taking the lid off this guy, and then we'll give him a little smoke. Due to my expert craftsmanship, this nuke box had a couple of leaks, so when I was driving home in the van, I had some bees for company. Until I stopped and put some duct tape on it. Alright. Give them a little taste here in the front. And as busy as they are, they may not appreciate me disturbing their nest, but we'll see how our football swarm is doing. So I can have a little bit of moisture on the top of this cover, so they've been really busy. And plus we've had just tons of rain here lately, so that might be the other reason. And I need to get my hive tool. Alright, now that I have my hive tool, we can get bit to moving these frames. Let's see how our little hive is doing. Here we can see they're busy drawing out some comb. I doubt the queen's on that one, so we'll move these guys in. Hopefully I can get my queen marking set next week and we can come out and find the queen and mark her. This one we've got some drawn comb on both sides, which is good. These guys are quite busy. And I'm not feeding them, so all of this is fresh nectar. Don't see any pollen yet. And I'm going to pull these out so I have room to get the big comb in. Now this was a piece of drawn comb that my mentor gave me, and let's see how they're doing on that. Looks like, man, we got a lot of bees on here. We'll see if we can find the queen. She should be on one side or the other. I'm not seeing any cells yet, or capped brood, put it that way. Looks like that's all resources. I don't see any brood cells. I hope I have a queen in here. But that looks all like nectar. I don't see any capped brood on this one either. I don't even see any. Don't even see a laying pattern. I believe I may be queenless, unless that's her right there. Get a close up of her. I can't. I don't believe that's her though. I believe I might be queenless. But in any event, get these guys moved over. Well, I believe that was mostly dead bees that fell out. Let's see if we can get the rest of the live ones, because I need to take this box with me today. Alright, that seemed to have gotten everybody out. So I can button this one up. Here's the wrong hive, boys. Well, should I say girls. I believe those were the dead and the dying. Alright, I've got a temporary migratory cover to put on this one until I get my top covered in metal. I've got a few more dead ones here, which hopefully I can get done later today. Alright, that might squish a couple of them, but that's kind of inevitable with bees. Well, a week ago we came over and removed a swarm of bees, which you've probably seen in the previous video, and it was a ball much like this one. For whatever reason, they don't like the trap, and I guess the ones that flew off while I captured that swarm have come back to stay here. Possibly a queen in there. We checked the box that we put the other hive in last time when we moved it over to a 10 frame today, and I didn't find a queen, so the queen may be here. So by the end of all this, once we capture this and get it back to the bee yard, I will probably end up combining these two so that we have a good queen, or I may just leave it in this box and add a queen to the other hive so that I can have two hives instead of one. So today we're going to try something that I saw online that apparently a lot of beekeepers do when they're catching swarms. And this is a little bit of 1-to-1 water and sugar, and apparently if you wet the bees with it, they don't fly off as much. And we've got quite a distance here between our hive, our swarm box, and the swarm. So I'm going to give them a little dose of sugar water to see how it affects them, and hopefully it will help minimize the fly off and we get all of them in the box. In the box I've got some starter comb, or drawn comb as they call it, from a friend of mine, and of course we've got some empty frames in here to give them all the room they need. So we're probably going to have to not be able to film this, since I may have to have my cameraman Samuel help me hold the box up while we get the bees in. So if all goes well, we'll finish up in the bee yard as we put this one out, but I'm probably going to leave them closed up for a day or two, or at least a day, so they can reorient when I open the box door. Alright, so we need to pull a frame out of this hive so that we can have room to put the new one in. So I'm going to pull one of these empty frames. Slide that over. Now this frame has some drawn comb on it, so I'm going to pull this one over so that we can have room to slide in our resource frame from over here. A little windy today, so my smoke doesn't really go down much. I'm going to pull this frame right here, see what kind of brood and whatnot we have on here. Hopefully we can spot some larvae, because those girls over there need a queen. And I rolled a bunch of bees off. This frame has some pollen, which is these dark cells here with the, down in the bottom you can see the pollen in here. Capped honey looks like this, of course. And of course here's open comb with nectar in it. They've been really busy filling this with nectar, so nothing as far as brood on this comb, but we've got honey and we've got nectar. And there's no brood up, but you can see the remains of a queen cell right there, which we probably pulled off the last time we had this open. And there's a nice fat drone right there. So we're not short on drones. So I'm going to set this one down and look for some more. Should have brought my frame hanger, but I didn't. Let's pull the next one up. Maybe this one will have some brood on it. Well, we've got a little drawn comb on the bottom, which we don't need. Tag that off right quick. And we have more. Comb that needs to come off. And this frame, we've got more capped honey, got a little bit of pollen there. I see no queen and I see no brood. Let's roll this one over, see what's on the other side. And there's even less on this side. We've got some going way down in there doing some cleaning, looks like. No queen. And that smoker is making my eyes water. So we're going to put this one back in and go until we find a frame with some brood on it. Oh, that's the. Looks like they drained the sugar water I gave them. So we may give them a new dose of sugar water today. Let's see what we got here. We have a little bit of drawn comb on the bottom there for some reason. Not enough to see. No brood, no larva, and apparently no queen on this frame. We've got pollen here, pollen over here, and no brood. And no queen cells. Well, at least this will make a good resource hive unless I find one with some brood on it. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one in the other box. And I'm letting all the bees go with it because this hive could use them. On this frame we have no brood and burr comb. Not sure why these girls are so intent on making burr comb. Seems like every time I open this hive I have to take some off. Got drones, workers, no kept brood. Got some pollen in here. Let's see what the next hive holds, or next frame. Samuel had to go get another SD card, ran out of memory in my recorder. So I went through this hive and I picked out another comb of resources. I haven't found any capped brood, any larvae, didn't see any eggs. Looks like I'm gonna have to get me a queen for this one. And I also need to get a super put on this unit, because I think the reason they're building all the bird comb on the bottom is because all the frames are full. So I'm going to give them space to expand with a super on this one. But in the meantime, I'm going to finish removing these little pieces of comb that came off the bottom of the swarm trap so that I can get a resource frame into this one. So get these guys brushed off. Yeah, I know it's hard work, guys, but I'll get you something better. Alright, so I'm going to pull, I think it's this last frame, is what I decided to give them. Because this one has lots of resources. It's got lots of pollen, lots of honey, lots of nectar, and it's got some bees on it, so that'll help their numbers. But I also need to get out here with another frame or two. Because none of these have starter strips in them, because for some reason my plastic cell wouldn't hold in these, probably because I have a split bottom frame instead of a solid one. So I will have to get a couple of frames fixed up. So now they have a resource frame, and I need to get these guys off because it'll squish them if I don't. Because this lid fits right down on top. And in order for those guys to get back in, I'm going to have to open the front. Come right here. I guess you all have seen bee doors. You got ventilation, a queen excluder, and then open. And since I don't have a queen, I'm just going to open this, and hopefully these guys can learn their way around without too many losses. Alright, so got a lid on that guy. Need to put an empty frame in here. Let these guys get to work on it. In fact, I'm probably going to put that more towards the middle. Because these frames are just plumb full of everything. Looks like I've got some bird comb on the side of this one as well. We did not look at this one. This one's almost all honey, and as you can see, they had a queen cell there, and that's where it was attached to the side of the hive, so that's not a queen cell. Let's see what the other side looks like. And it's all honey, some of it's capped. So I'm going to put that one back where it was. I'm going to put in the one we've had sitting out here for a while, which is where it was originally. I'll just try to Alright, we're done with this one for now. I'm going to have to make a couple of new frames for that one. I want to check on, this is my original swarm that came from, that actually used the swarm box at my buddy's. So we'll see, we're going to check on them, see if they need a resource frame. I don't think so, but we'll check them. And of course, I think you've seen my sugar sim in a previous video. I made the whole quart jar with ventilation. So I don't have any water damage on this since I took the burlap out, so even with all the rain we've had recently, it has not made that much of a difference. And let's Let's pull this one out. That smoker. Alright. These gals have done quite a bit of drawing, and look at all that beautiful white nectar in there. That looks delicious. Let me set that down. And we'll look for a queen. It looks like we don't need a resource frame for this hive. They seem to be doing just fine. But the real question is there a queen in here? Lots of drawn comb, lots of nectar. That's some odd looking comb design they've got going on there. I hope they know what they're doing. But, you know, bees do what bees do. The last time we were out here messing with the hives, I haven't posted it yet, but in this hive box over here, we heard a queen doing her come out and fight me to the death call. They call it pipping. So that queen is obviously left. Maybe she's out getting mated. I'm going to check again in about a week. If we don't have queens, I'm going to have to break down and maybe buy 2 or 3, because I'd hate to lose all this good start I've got. Now, of course, this is the drawn comb that I had to put in the box when I moved the swarm over. Oh, I have a queen, and she is busy. Holy cow, that is full of brood. I mean, we've got maybe a tiny bit of honey here and a tiny there, but the rest of this, that is all brood. I'm gonna have to put a super on this. This thing is about to explode. That's great. Oh, Jesus, even more brood. Holy smokes. I am gonna have to take this bird comb off. Yeah, I'm gonna put a super on this one too, but right now I'm just gonna take off some bird comb. As long as I don't hurt any of the ladies. If what I hear is true, about the only thing they put on the bottom of these frames like this is either drone comb, the comb they intend to put drones in, and or swarm cells, queens. And those do not look like swarm cells, so I have to assume that they were making those to make more drones. But my God, that queen is busy. In fact, if there's a lot of brood on any of these others, there's a small amount of brood on this one. I think I may give this one a week or two, and I may move. Was there brood on this one or no? I don't remember now. No brood. So I've only got brood on the old drawn comb, so I can't pull that one out. And this one's probably going to be resources as well. They haven't drawn anything on the last frame, but I just got stung again. Apparently I must have mashed somebody when I put that frame back in. That pissed them off. Now this, never seen comb start like that. I think that's because that plasticell back there was not coated with wax. No, there's no wax coating on that, so they're probably making it where they want to for now. So
there we go.
all right, after that second sting Samuel got today,
Third.
okay, third. I put the frames back. I only have brood on the one frame, but it is packed full. So I'm going to get a super for this one, make up some frames for my hives that need it. There's some bird comb that doesn't need to be on there. The girls are making it in the wrong place. And probably feed them a little more since they're taking it, although it seems that they're finding plenty on their own. So I need a super for both 8 frames. They both need a super. And I need at least 3 or 4 frames to go in these boxes because I really don't have anything to support them in those. So that will be something I can do tomorrow. Well, put them in tomorrow. I'll make them today. We'll put them in tomorrow.
Yeah, after they calm down.
And I need to put the sugar shim back on this one because I don't want to carry it to the house right now. Come on, girls. Y'all need to move. There's too many bees in that hive to keep from killing a couple of them. Okay. Now I can put the top back on. Alright. Alright. Earlier today we went over and picked up the last, what I hope is the last of the swarm that I got 2 weeks ago. And we moved it from this nuke box over to the 10 frame this morning. I'm not going to combine them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a frame of resource from my oldest, strongest hive over here, and I'm going to put one in this hive and I'm going to put one in the nuke box. As far as I can tell, neither one of these hives have a queen. So when I get the resource frame, I want to make sure I have at least some brood, if not larvae. I don't know if I'm going to find any larvae or not, but I'm going to take a resource frame from here and put in these 2 young hives, and hopefully we can strengthen them up and get them going. So let me get the lid off of this one. And I added these screws to my nuke box because of transportation issues. You never know when you're going to hit a bad bump on the road that my friend lives on where I get these. It's a bad road. Let me get the lid off of my older hive here.